Welcome back to the roof. Halftime between the Terriers and the first place Bucknell Bison. This might be a familiar face. The Director of Athletics here at Boston University, Drew Marrochello. Drew, thanks as always for spending some time with us. Appreciate
Brian,
it.
Good to see you. Good
Well,
to be
let's start about first the first half. The Terriers lead this one 32-27. An entertaining first half for both teams being able to finish inside. But this is all part of what was basketball alumni weekend. Now, I know it's the second year in a row that weather has played a factor with it, but it's always good to see that the Joe Jones and his coaching staff, they've really made a consistent effort to bring back former Terriers for a big weekend.
Well, whenever we want snow, all we have to do is schedule one of these events. We had a great turnout last night and a great turnout today for a pregame luncheon, and you just saw them being honored on the court, which was really nice to see people from different decades. So in spite of the snow, which really cut our list down, we still had quite a few people in attendance, and Joe has done a wonderful job connecting the decades, connecting the community, and that speaks to his qualities as a basketball ambassador. Really proud of him.
Now on the court, besides that, Joe Jones has had to work with a lot of injuries this year, between Justin Alston, his foot injury, Cedric Hankerson as well with his knee injury. It seems like this team is starting to find that new identity without those players.
Brian, I came into a game last weekend after halftime, and I sat across from the bench, and I told Joe I'm never sitting there again. And he said, was it something I did? And I said, no, I get to see how much talent we have on the bench. And it was really disheartening. He's done a wonderful job, and I really mean that. I think that people look at coaching as game coaching. That's not the measure of a coach. A lot of the coaching is done in an office. It's done in practice. It's done in recruiting when you're recruiting the makeup of a person. And we've got a lot of talent left. We really do. I think we've got enough talent to win the Patriot League. We're just really thin right now, and you can see that at times.
Yeah, certainly the Terriers are still only going about 7 or 8 deep in their rotation. Well, unfortunately, it hasn't just been basketball that has faced injuries. You look at head coach David Quinn of the men's ice hockey team, number 10 in the country, and what they've had to go through. Their captain was out, Matt Grislick, with an injury as well, but he came back and then ends up getting a hat trick in that 7-2 win against UMass. You love stories like that.
His first career hat trick, I believe. And we certainly withstood the time that Matt was out, which was probably a third of the season. We lost some close games, and we kept saying, hey, we're playing very well, and Matt's not even here. And first-team All-American, everybody knows that, but what they don't know, he's a wonderful leader. The qualities he has as a leader are really second to none. Stabilizing force on the ice, in the locker room. He's made Charlie McAvoy better. It's just great to have him back.
Well, certainly I'm sure David Quinn and the rest of the Terriers are happy to have their captain back, both on the ice as well as just in the locker room in general. It's a huge thing that you don't always talk about is what that locker room presence is, and certainly David Quinn has found a good captain in Matt Grislick there. I wanted to shift over and talk about women's ice hockey, as we'll talk about the Beanpots in just a moment. But first off, the Winter Classic. It's a huge event, and once again, it was hosted here in Foxborough, outside of Boston. Everyone makes that mistake, but 3 former Terriers, Kaylee Fracken, Shannon Doyle, and Marie Philippoulin, all got to be part of the festivities.
We've talked for years, Brian, about the international flavor that Brian DeRocher has recruited for the women's ice hockey team, and I think you can see it when they're on display in one of the biggest stages in the world. Really great to see them all there. And of course, our thoughts and prayers are also with Denna Lang, who was injured in that event. The thoughts of all the hockey community are with her.
I wanted to talk about the Beanpots going into that. As you look, it's unbelievable. Doug and I mentioned it, that we're at the end of January thinking about Beanpot, the most fun week in February. The men's team trying to defend their title, and the women getting to host the 38th Beanpot.
We're excited to host that. The men open up on the 1st of February against Northeastern at the Garden, and the women will be here at Walter Brown against Northeastern, 8 o'clock. As you said, the 38th one. We're hoping to fare well in this one, and we're looking forward to hosting.
Real quickly, I wanted to just do a couple of things to touch upon. First, the Hall of Fame class announcement. Once again, some huge names as you go down the list. Sarah Dalton, Jamie Haas. And once again, you look back, and it's a lot of Terriers that, well, it's sad that I remember all these players now that I don't know if that's an age thing on me or what's going on.
I was just at the basketball alumni event, and they were telling me about 10 basketball guys that should be in the Hall of Fame. And I told them that there are about 50 people that should probably be worthy of consideration. It's tough to get in. It's a rigorous process. It goes through a couple of different screening processes before the voting even occurs. This year's class is absolutely wonderful. Mark Seals from football, Mark Kimball, cross-country track and field, Florian Minigan, men's rower, Sarah Dalton, one of the more accomplished women's lacrosse players in history, Jamie Haas softball, and of course Ed Carpenter, everybody's favorite. Ed is in the contributor category this year. spent a lifetime here at BU and is really one of those special people. Everybody, I can safely say, loves Ed Carpenter.
Well, Drew, I know this is one of those days that you wish you had multiple bodies in multiple places. A lot of action going around today, certainly on campus. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of this half.
Good to be here as always, Brian. Thank you.
That's the Director of Athletics here at Boston University, Drew Marrochello, here at the half as the Terriers lead it 32-27. Come back to us. We'll have first half numbers and second half action right here on the Patriot League Network, powered by Campus Insiders.